Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. Why don't you take a walk with me? Let's talk about something today. Let's talk about our enemies. For the most part, I don't really have any enemies, but if you live your life, especially making mature decisions and doing the right thing, you're going to naturally offend people, rub them the wrong way, cause some kind of rift. It's gonna happen. No matter how righteously you live, you're gonna bother somebody. And then you could even give them the opportunity to say that you're a goody two-shoes. There's gonna be some way where there's gonna be people out there that don't like you. And they attempt to attack you in some way. They attempt to attack you emotionally or through the words or through their actions. They don't like you for whatever reason, even if it's not actually something you did. Maybe you've even tried to correct it and make things right, and they won't allow you to, okay? But at some point in life, naturally, enemies are going to occur by default. When it comes to those enemies, what do you wish for them? What's the natural instinct? Well, it's obviously to wish harm upon them, right? You want them to suffer. You want them to pay, because then everything's right in the world. In reality, that's not how it actually works. I'm drawing you into my level of emotional intelligence, because that's what this is about. It's about emotional intelligence. Think of it this way. When you have an enemy, no matter how wrong they are, no matter how wrong they've been to you, no matter if they're an established villain in your social circle, what if instead of wishing harm upon them, that they would get, they'd get justice and they'd, what if instead you wished blessings upon them? What if you thought, you know what? They're obviously going through something in their life that's probably pretty intense, because the way they're acting is not really normal, and that's kind of messed up how they're acting. Well, they're probably going through something in their life, and they're coping with it. They're dealing with it the best that they can. So obviously, naturally, because they're in a dark, confusing place, that's how they portray to other people. They have an insecurity about them, ultimately, that reflects from them, right? What if you wished blessings upon that person? What if instead of wishing harm, you wished good things upon them? What if you, when you saw them, if they'd allow you to, you still try to make things right? Worst they can say is, go away, I don't want to talk to you anymore. But still though, you can let them know as you're leaving, okay, with whatever changes, let me know, I'll be here. You can always do that, because that way you're ending it with, I want to make things right. I don't want to get even. I want to make things right. I want things to be good. That's the mature adult way to look at things. When someone is your enemy, to truly in your heart wish good things upon that person. Now, obviously, this is probably sounding a little bit familiar. You may recall that Jesus said the same thing. Pray for your enemies, right? And that's where it really hits home, because especially if you're a Christian and there's someone who's a perceived enemy, now we have to get spiritual about it. But I'm already spiritual enough. I'm already doing the right thing. But are you praying blessings upon that person? Think of it this way. How do you want God to intervene with this enemy, this perceived enemy? How would you rather him intervene? Would you rather him intervene by showing that person justice and making bad things happen to them and showing them, yeah, God's going to judge them? Whatever vague punishment that be, whether they get in a car accident. And I know that's getting dark. I think that's what a lot of people do. Like, they wish harm upon these people. Or they at least want the person to be embarrassed or humiliated in front of everybody. Like, ooh, yeah, then God would get them. Or the emotionally mature thing. You know what? God is just. God wants people to be redeemed, right? What if God blessed them? They realized that people actually did care about them. Even if they're acting like a jerk to everybody, people were still nice to that person. They saw love and compassion, even if they didn't deserve it, which, let's be honest, to ever say that we deserve grace, that's an oxymoron anyway, right? What if things were corrected by God blessing that person? Here's what I'm going to say. For an enemy, they're not going to get better by being punished. They're going to get better by being shown love and compassion, even though they weren't expecting it. Because if you make it clear that all you want is peace with them, even if they say, go away, I hate you, The last hurt thing they heard you say is that you want to make it right. So, when it comes to your enemies, what if in your heart, what if in your mind, you choose to say, from now on, whatever enemies may occur in my life, I'm going to not only wish and pray for blessings upon them, but I'm going to do my best to facilitate that. I might do an honest, sincere gesture for them, give them something, bake them a cake, whatever it is, and not be sarcastic. Just let them know I want to make things right, and apologize, even if you didn't actually do anything wrong. You'd apologize. Imagine how much more effective that's going to be than just brooding and drinking the poison and expecting the other person to get sick. That's called bitterness. That's called resentment. This is all based in forgiveness. That's the base of all of this. When you have enemies, be emotionally intelligent. Choose to forgive them. Choose for them to be able to forgive you by you treating them better than they deserve. By not wishing harm upon them. By realizing that the best thing, the best blessing they could get is actually you. And that punishment that you always wanted them to have no longer comes from you. The blessing comes from you. The punishment doesn't. In fact, there is no punishment. It just goes back to the blessing. I'm Nick Shell, Family Friendly Daddy Blog.